Other form of about ABTV online so. A media ya to the voice out any day bro a on social media. And then menya otitrini ye patitru pa oda empowerment chapel e wo kronom afrancho Bible School Junction ano o sanso a medical doctor CU Epaphras and then Hopefield Hospital Epaphras Bible School Junction and a Hopefield so wo Kumasi Buom nti ye wia ye bema doctor akasa na dwumedi na wie ye kura no o de ne chi kwan ye ne telephone number ato dwa ama menmu no doctor passion pa
yeah
ida ye se bisanfo nyina ho ye
erade adum bi ho ye ejiri se mo so mo ye
ija na dum ye so ye ho ye pa
erade as
ija so mi hu se menya ye flyer be to ha boys ni bi comment e wo me status ana do ye se dwumedi we very important it was said Ubaso na ye kama Ghana for nyina wiase nyina ete na ehu de echo music ministry and then pastoral ministry ni dog dwumedi nyina ne say so ehia masem bisam ne say so ehia say asori mo dwumayefo e fa instrumentalists ne adondofo e wa asori ni no ye ti omoka so ehia
me da say I'm far akonya isu na me ntia ahwefo nyina ne etiefo nyina na me de enchia so koma Ghana pelefo nyina Ghana munipa mofra mu kitwa kese bia rade on show bia in fact me mo bia happy new year rade show say and so we nya kwan na yes so rade abu yimbi mo bia happy new year. Happy New Year, ma. Church members, church workers, for young clients, will be bia. And will be Happy New Year. Sarah Disha, near Radin Pija, Eddie Mobi Bia, Radi, Shall be brave. Without celebrating. Okay, Radin shall be brave. I'm so good. Question is a year. Say, Asafu Juma for to your own. Okay. You are digital. Now on your case. And the question we question the ano yet. Edi kind and they say Bible crackers would do any try and SMS matter. And then Yakupon so na rather some say the oka asempan. Asempana who be and the nature say we are asempan mojuma. So that is the answer and the mouth straight away. Say any beer or year by the juma, the beer or didn't want see but they make us a for full-time workers. For full-time workers. Because some women said, as a fumi will be or to John was a fum, Bua or Bonnet Sem was a fum, or be was Swakasa, and yet Ubia, Jumabio and as a fumbia in Janica. But Obia within the time we bring in a sea or said the oil because it be a mini baby Jom air tone in toes, air tone in Meko, air tone in Yadwa. So with my share the ma. Yes. Or before Francois Safunima on so every day on air so we prepare near master the own food do Munyar Master. Not be okay. So such people any nipa do on bread see for the church, I believe they have to be paid. And I believe that I will say to your said ye radia sebe anene amen intino say radia said you did yes and pano dia. Once these people are committed to the work of God and nothing else, I believe they have to be paid. But said ya can when you look at the corporate nature of the church, it's a non-profit. Okay, and then when you get to a non-profit organization, there are a lot of voluntary aspect of it, and as a voluntary duties and voluntary work. There are few people who are on payroll who are on salaries. So that is one thin line about it. Because when you go to even some NGOs near that, they know piano, the water in Tuanica. But being my home, some voluntary workers and all that. Next, if you pay and all the Juman. It's a Jumane any day. I was saying, Tia Wana, a do on who see or say, and no quan or ye. We need to be a view. Nata Jenny bringing out the year. said the beya for some ramble shum nurse I couldn't be bring it here fan say be your NGO you will be an NGO be administrator NGO be secretary. Yes, these people are working in the organization full time, but probably there might be other physician assistants, there might be other nurses who are supporting this NGO. And at the end of the day, these people probably work from afar. That could be a bit screening. Then you mean support, I'm a screening the a more doctor for but at the end of the day, there is somebody who sits down every day just to make sure this organization and this planning is executed.
Wow.
So those people are supposed to be paid.
Wow.
Are supposed to be. But then it will be our KB or auxiliary. Yes, there could be motivation, there could be allowances, but they are not entitled to pay. That is why the church is also a non-profit organization. They also share it say you be a no aside from be an also but on a full-time workers there also yeah.
Doc na me inshallah order for enkomone ya ide doc amaye say asolimo dumayefo no wona etu omu si wo full time a wonye bibia nka won ene twa say yetie omka am question bi say so etisa e won so de bia mu obi wo asafo ni mu wotu hu asi wo say the doc oken enso asolo no enhwe no and so okam say
okay. I believe that every organization lay down protocols and procedures out there on Yemen. And for any non-governmental organization, Biano has a constitution.
Okay.
It's mandatory that you have a constitution to govern that organization. Okay. So if the church believes that instrumentalists are not supposed to be paid, but they are also seen as auxiliary workers of the church, that is the church and that is the standard, and we have to respect that. And to me, it is not wrong when instrumentalists and musicians are auxiliary workers. It depends. Probably the person is a music director, is almost every time at the church doing almost everything. But we ever say we are a banker, we a teacher, we a business person, we a trader. You go to trade and then you come back to the church. Yes. Now, what about I believe that is where no per se or the assume anyone the service, which is also part of Christianity. Okay. Because let me tell you, Christianity without service, there is no Christianity. Listen, people of God, there's one thing that we have to understand, that the service is part of the mandate of the Christian. Yes. And then we have to enjoy the aspect of service. The aspect of service. No question a woman no crying say say obi instrumentalist but the church also wanted to put a certain spirit. Because we say asafono at the end of the day, how much is the church earning from offerings and all that? The church has to pay bills, the church has to get a land, build churches, go for evangelism, do all those things. I'm not saying the music aspect is wrong, no, don't get me wrong. Okay. But so when I'm so bad to be a car, never say my men or Woswa Kassan. Mammy, who I saw them or Woswa Kassan, so for 8 movie pa. Mammy, who are them or Woswa Kassan, it's in there, Saba. Mammy, who are Woswa Kassan, my many of them are praising them. All these people are we supposed to pay them? The answer will be no, because we are all giving service. Yakwa, and more Woswa Kassan, and my more prep saw them, says I saw them, then everybody has to be paid. Part of the action. So that is where we are getting it wrong. So I don't want us to think that what the church was doing is wrong. No, to me in a way it was in the right direction. Because if you want to pay every service that we render to God, then the service, the kingdom business becomes a carnal or an earthly business. Okay. Because for an earthly business, everybody has to be paid. But when it comes to the service to God and all that, it is not everything that we do in the church that warrants payment. We can motivate one way or the other, but the concentration should be that we are offering ourselves. It says, offer yourself as a living sacrifice. So the service that you are giving your body, giving your mind, your skill, your knowledge, wisdom, everything that you have to the service of God, I believe is a sacrifice. It's a living sacrifice, something that has life that you are offering to God. So I believe that the church is not wrong, and in as much as things are changing, that they might also want to change their things, I believe that the church was on the right path, and they are looking at not demotivating others. I didn't know about drums. It chom kabaya was like a Sunday check. But obviously, Makasabo pa. I didn't know or more above Vuzela. The bar, sorry, I was say, yeah, boy, I'm going to be bopping. All these people make church lively, you see. Wow. So, should we also pay all of them? I believe that was the sense that they had. But probably we are in a different generation altogether, and then ministry has also evolved. So probably if the church also looking at it, that ministry has evolved, the dimensions and other things about church. First, and to be ultimate nothing but bamboo. But now things have changed. Even drums are played on notes, are played on keys, and you need people of skill, people of understanding to do some of these. People who are trained.
Wow.
And it takes time. It takes time to rehearse and all that. So if we want to motivate, we want to put them on some allowances, fine. But I believe that we shouldn't make church full of allowances, full of salaries, and all those things. At the end of the day, it takes away the power, because it's the service that draws the power of God. You see, so once we are doing what I believe, that is not of the best.
Okay, that's it. But for said the Lord, they didn't clarify it. They didn't come my say, so be a full-time worker. I was sorry. Now it's so when you make the and I said, we need business be when you maybe a cat, the oil the abo, sorry, no one. It was said, I saw no, a channel, and it's your car. But so you can't be ever say, I comment be my friend be at the bar. She said, the open instrumentalists are unya buna. She said, we are, or the Uber driver. We are in the school. Why are so people cry their my churches and so? Unyabi. And then I say, ye obia here. As a Jumediano, Namudmano acquire when I move upon say, Seniwa, and ye, say Tiniwa, and ye, say Niniwa, and ye. It will be here will be now Manabas. So see, hey, it looks like all the musicians in Kumasi are now either schooling or working in an office or doing some Uber job or something. Oh, hey, no one want to commit to the music life. Besides, you must say, no one want to commit to the music life again, Lord. Azemo, I'm sitting here looking for instrumentalists for about 6 churches and with amazing offers, and we are not getting any. Hey, oh, sounds to the Lord, be sure. God have mercy. Or see, in fact, Kumasi musicians are finishing. Well, so that as a man of a car far away, who's to say, and I said, Nipano Opeso Kunimu Abrabomutina, Weja Yamedia Toa. Or in business. Okay,
I think say that's what I'm saying, that the world is evolving, things are changing. At first, that's sorry, unya kaubidi awada. Ufa ubin fichela watiti banking. Habai na wape body bi. But now things have changed. Until ground cool been featuring what it will be contemplating. So it's somebody's garden, and then you ought to pay for it, or you ought to farm yourself. So things have evolved, things have changed, and I believe that it is not just about music is really going down in some aspect of, or let's say the whole nation, not necessarily in the church or in the religious setup. The truth and the fact still remains that people that have committed a lot of their time to music, few of them make impact, because when you look at our system, our social system does not support, and our structures does not really support people in the art, in the music industry. So even when you start to do music, your mother will start to question you, will start to discourage you. And there are some people who are even, when you go to other places, and it's of late that people are accepting even school of performing arts and all that. At first, when somebody's even going to school to even, I think about 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, when somebody is going to school and then you ask of the person doing odontology or performing arts or anything, people frown on it because they believe that you have to be a doctor, you have to be a nurse, you have to be a physician assistant, you have to be a banker, you have to be a business person, something. So you see, it's a general thing that the music is not paying. Okay, the music is not paying, and people really don't understand music, and they don't really understand the culture of music, and they don't really appreciate the business of music. So it's a general thing. It's a general thing. Now, one thing that I believe and I share of the view that there is no successful minister of God that has been blessed by his church, but you have been blessed by your ministry. Okay, so talk of even in the secular, people that are doing well is because of their craft, their gift, their talent. That is paving way for them. They've really polished themselves. That is paving way for them, and people are appreciating them. So once you don't have something that people would want to buy, you see, we've hosted people that we've paid good monies to host them, because we saw that there's something in them. We believe that there's something in them. So I believe that sometimes it is about you, it's about your worth, what you have. So when we look at Proverbs chapter 22, the verse 29 or 28, he says, "Is any man skillful? He will serve among kings, and not just mere men." So you see, is anyone skillful? That is the whole thing. So it's your skill. It's what you possess, what you hold, that will bring something to you. So most of these people, they get discouraged because at the end of the day, they think they are playing keyboard, they are playing bass guitar, and then they are not getting what they have to get. They are not. The guitar is not able to feed them. The truth is, if your guitar playing cannot cast demons, like it was casting demons of that of Saul, who will call you? They will call David to come and play the harp. Why would they call David to come and play the harp, a strings instrument, when the demon of Saul manifest? Because they knew that there was a ministry that David carried. David carried something that could deliver people, that could change life. So your keyboard playing, your drums, is it affecting life? Is it changing life? Is it improving music? Is it having an impact on the church? You see, you come and then you play it, and now probably there's nothing. You see, when you have the skill, people sought after you, people will chase after you, they need you. So let your ministry pay you. But you see something, in as much as we are saying that there are also men of the skill that churches and ministry don't honor, we will come to that place. But what I want us to talk about is the people, the instrumentalists, the musicians. They should build their craft. They should master their craft. Because the minute you come with professionalism, you come with something, everybody would yearn to have you. You see, people have programs and they would want you to be there. People are having their weddings, they would want you to be there. Who wouldn't want to see Joe Mettle come perform at their wedding? Who wouldn't want to see Dana Hamilton come perform at their wedding? You see, who wouldn't want better keyboardists that are playing for Love's Gate, better instrumentalists? I can't remember, we hosted a program here, the Empowerment Summit, and Akesi Bimpong came, and Akesi came with his team. And at that time, the choir was complaining that our instrument, this, that, actually, we are investing in everything that we have to invest. But when Akesi and his team stood up, I saw that we had no issue with our equipment. They delivered beautifully. The keyboard that people are complaining, the same keyboard these people were playing as if we were playing CD. So I came to realize that no, it's the craftness. We don't have the in fact, there are a lot of things lacking. Because when others pick the stage and then they change everything, the sound that we are complaining became better. The sound that we are complaining sound better. And then it means that there is something wrong with the human resource. We need to learn, we need to master ourselves. You see, if you want to be paid well, you see, there are some Ghanaians, I don't know their name, but when you get to the UK, almost every gig is these instrumentalists that are playing. They play for the video, they play for Wizkid, they are playing for these top-notch people.
Wow.
Why? Because they have the craft. They can play the drums well. So every live, most of the live programs that is happening in the UK, these people are playing it, and they are Ghanaians. They are instrumentalists. So the instrumentalists are also phenomenal. They are very, very important. But ask yourself, how well are you playing? What are you adding to your craft? Probably you play off note. I don't know, you are not even able to coordinate anything and all that. So who will respect you? Who will want you to respect? You respect people. So you see, just like you go to get a mason to plaster your building, and the person is just plastering it in some way. You wouldn't have even the joy to pay. But another person can come and then deliver a very good job, and you would want to pay more. That's what I'm saying. That is anyone skillful at their work? Mind you, these people will not serve mere men; they will serve kings. So we have to work on our craft. We have to work on our craft, and I believe that once we work on our craft, it will call for it. So let's not think that the church or people are not honoring us. You are not playing well. Who should honor you? Play well, and people will honor you. So that is the whole thing. And I believe that the church also has to start to honor the instrumentalists, and you have to appreciate the instrumentalists. You know, you see, sometimes the painful aspect of it is you call a musician to come in and sing, and probably for a night you are giving a musician 5,000, 2,000, 1,000. Yes, some of them have really earned it. And you have an instrumentalist that you have for a whole year and a whole month, you can't even appreciate with something. I believe sometimes it's not the best. But it shouldn't, the concentration shouldn't be the money. Concentration shouldn't be the money. And then again, as I said, it depends on the number of engagement. Probably because of the person is not working. Because of the church, the person is not working. You have to consider and make sure that there's something. And these things have to, it should be both the church and then the entire team that is working on it. So I believe say because I remember that I always say that any prophet, any man of God that despises the office of the music or the musician, I don't know which man of God that day. You know, the kings, they went to Elisha, and then Elisha said, "Bring me a minister." You see, bring me a minister to minister in songs. And as the minister ministered, Elisha was able to prophesy.
Wow.
So you see, the truth and the fact still remains that, you know, look at every top-notch prophet. They don't joke with music. It's because it excites the spirit. You know, it's excites the spirit of God, and the spirit of God that is in them moves well. So these are some of the things that we have to understand, and just know that the office of the musician is very powerful. Let's understand the office of David as a prophet and also as a king. He having the kingly unction, having the prophetic unction. He also had the unction as a musician and could sing and would drive what? Demons away. Because when the demon and the evil spirit comes upon Saul, David is called, and then we get to know. I want us to read some few scriptures for us to understand that indeed the musicians are very, very important. And musicians,
Sure.
Because musicians, musician, 3 years, musician, dressing the audible, keyboardist, they don't really understand, they don't know that it's an office. And to one that's a crowd, you don't respect yourself, who should respect you? She has often said, softness, my dress up better now. When you are coming to play keyboard, what dress anyhow, watch a television TV, why you want film as a baby, and you want to. These are some of the things. I'm saying this because it happens.
Sure.
So they themselves, they don't really see themselves. But you know, musicians and then keyboardists, players, everybody, these people, they are all what? Ministers of God. So now let's look at 1 Chronicles chapter 6. And when you look at Chronicles, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, a lot of verses and chapters speaks about music. Now, 1 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 31 to 47. Now, these are those whom David appointed. So it's David appointed. So as we appoint pastors, as we appoint people, so David had the prophetic unction.
Wow.
So David was a king and also had the prophetic unction. So let me tell you something. David, because he was in the office of the music, knew the importance of musicians. So he appointed. So the way we ordain pastors, we also ordain musicians. But it's not like the way we, as in, it's not the same field and the same process that we used to ordain and then usher people, ministers of God into ministry. But these people graduate. Musicians graduate, and at the end of the day, I believe it's also a form of what? Ordination, in a way that they are ordained into their call. So you see, it's an appointment. So David also appointed over the service of song. So when we appoint a pastor over youth ministry, we appoint a pastor over children's ministry, we appoint a pastor over prayer ministry, over evangelism, missions. Why can't we also appoint people? So the problem here is because the musicians have also not lifted themselves. Do you believe that somebody will walk over Pastor Joe Mitchell? He's a musician. You can't just walk over him. He's an apostle of God. Such a wonderful person. You see, let's look at Elder Miracle. Look at the mighty things that he will do. Let's look at Kewa. Kewa is a man of God. He plays instruments. Do you think you can just walk over Kewa? No. You see, that is the point of these musicians. They are talking because they've not really built themselves. They've not really ordered themselves to accord those things. Let's look at somebody like Pastor Emmett. This is a pastor, worships. Let's look at Johnson Oyinka. He's a pastor. Sure. Johnson Oyinka is a pastor. Who? Isaiah. Pastor Isaiah. He's a pastor. But he sings. He's a minister. You see, let's look at somebody like Joe Mettle. He preaches the word of God. You see, so this whole thing that we are talking about, let's look at Otuo Acheampong. He's also a pastor. Sure. So you see, the music people, some of them, especially in Kumasi, they don't really carry themselves to accord that respect. They don't carry themselves to accord that respect. Sometimes they come with their hairs, the way you see, the way you carry yourself is the way people, so the way you dress, the way you behave, that's the same way people address you. So if they will also sit down, groom themselves well, learn their skill, mastery their skill, and then make sure that they develop in everything that they're doing, people will respect and honor them. You see, so these are some. So the problem that we are talking about is multifaceted. Yes, there are some of the men of God that they will not even appreciate them.